This visual illusion could serve as a metaphor for the violation of which axiom?
On track. Independence is the correct answer.
If so, which of the following best explain his greater disappointment?
Correct. Omission bias is the right answer. What type of advertising technique is this? Exactly. Bundling makes sense, and it is right choice. Which axiom does the AD error violate? You got it? Your choice dominance is right. What is the tendency to overestimate the importance of recent events and underestimate the likelihood of long-term trends? Excellent. Recency bias is a brilliant choice. In this technique, one side introduces negative facts or perceptions, putting the other side at an immediate disadvantage. Perfect. Poisoning the well is the correct choice. What is the tendency to believe that a small sample of outcomes always resembles the long-run distribution of outcomes? Nice work. You chose law of small numbers, and it is correct.
In class, you learned about mispricings resulting from spin-offs. Which possible reason can explain this phenomenon?
Well picked. Noise trader risk is the correct answer.
What is the reliance on stereotypes, analogies, or limited samples to form opinions about an entire class known as?
Smart move. Representativeness heuristic is an accurate answer.
What is the phenomenon where observed prices soar far higher than fundamentals and rational analysis would suggest?
Well done. Bubble is the right choice.
Choosing viz pricing, preferring one option but being willing to pay more for the other, violates which axiom?
Bravo. Invariance is the answer. This value that drives financial behaviors focuses on how we see ourselves and how we believe others see us. Sharp thinking. Inner is the right choice.
It is a strategy that can be applied to reduce complex problem solving to more simple judgmental operations.
Well reasoned. Heuristic is the correct choice. A marketing advertising strategy that uses charts, graphs, or statistics that are intentionally misleading. Right again? False statistics is a valid answer. Trusting one's gut or following the inner voice helps overcome a sudden spending with this life value. Nicely done. Inner is a solid answer.
This value that drives financial behaviors focuses on the tangible aspects of our life and world.
You chose physical, and it is correct.
An investor weighs more heavily to potential loss than potential gain. This concept is known as
Nice selection. Loss aversion is the correct and valid answer.
Using graphs, charts, or statistics that sound precise, yet even experts find the number suspect.
Good thinking. False statistics is the right answer.
Possessing the knowledge and skills to effectively manage finances and be an informed consumer.
Smart pick. Financial literacy is the correct choice.
The person with this strong life value is willing to spend more for craftsmanship and design.
Correct response. Physical is the most accurate answer.
All of the following are types of values that can impact your financial decisions, except dash.
Good job. Your answer spiritual values works well here.
Positive serial correlation in returns is reported over the medium term. This is called dash. You're right. Momentum is the correct answer. Believing or dismissing information based on whether it reinforces beliefs we already hold. Valid point. Confirmation bias is true. Review. When taking out a loan, the amount of money initially borrowed is called the dash.
Strong choice. Principle is the right answer.
In which bias we give more weightage to information which receives high media attention.
Solid response. Availability bias is a valid choice.
An arrangement to receive cash, goods, or services now and pay for them in the future.
Right choice. Credit is the best answer.
Actions that someone takes in the present to attempt to control their future behavior.
Great job. Commitment device is the accurate answer.
If a person gives too much weight to recent information, they make following bias. Clear logic. Your choice recency bias is sound and 100% true.
Overconfidence bias may lead the majority of Americans to think that they are dash.
Excellent choice. Above average drivers is the right answer.
What is the tendency to give more weight to information that is easily available? Great thinking. Availability bias is the right choice.
You can state this statement for which bias. Don't throw good money after bad.
Great thinking. Escalation of commitment is the right choice. What is the situation where market prices collapse significantly and suddenly? On track, crash is the correct answer.
The following are not included in the behavioral investor type, namely dash.
Right choice. Customer fully engaged is the best answer.
A dash is a predictable error in remembering, calculating, and reasoning. Smart pick. Cognitive bias is the correct choice.
Investments of time, effort, and money that cannot be recovered are dash. Great job. Sunk costs is the accurate answer. If there is a low probability for receiving high gains, people are dash. Strong choice. Risk-seeking is the right answer. Which social media platform has the most influence on shopping habits? Correct. Instagram is the right answer.
Which element below is not included in the heuristic decision process?
Excellent choice. Self-control is the right answer.
The original amount of money borrowed, loaned, is known as the dash.
Valid point. Principle is true.
Review. You received this tax form from your employer in January.
W2 is the answer.
The following life values can have an effect on our money habits.
Sharp thinking. Inner, social, physical, financial is the right choice. Which social media platform has the biggest influence on buyers? Good job. Your answer Instagram works well here.
What is the tendency to sell winners and hold losers known as?
Smart move. Disposition effect is an accurate answer. Evaluation biases affect the other decision problem.
Well reasoned. Valuation method is the correct choice.
Most common emotions that drive decision-making are dash.
Excellent. Greed and fear is a brilliant choice.
A person who has a large, engaged audience or following.
You got it. Your choice, social media power user influencer, is right.
Something that is owed or due.
Well done. Debt is the right choice. Dash leads to investors misestimate true probabilities. Good thinking. Information processing limitation is the right answer. A man trades more frequently than a woman because of.
Correct response. Overconfidence is the most accurate answer.
Review. You'll fill this out when you begin a new job. Nicely done. W4 is a solid answer. Which one of below is the origin of prospect theory? Solid response. Kahneman and Tversky is a valid choice. A heuristic is a dash used when make decisions.
Nice selection. A mental shortcut is the correct and valid answer.
Who is today's Gaspol behavioral finance speaker? Nice work. You chose Mr. Reginald Sirianto, and it is correct. The traditional finance assumes that people are
Perfect. Selfish is the correct choice.
getting caught up with purchasing material goods.
You're right. Consumerism is the correct answer.
Someone who buys goods services for personal use.
You chose consumer, and it is correct.
What is given up in order to get something else?
Well picked. Opportunity cost is the correct answer.
Which bias is also called sunken cost fallacy.
Right again. Escalation of commitment is a valid answer.
The ability to affect someone else's behavior. Clear logic. Your choice influence is sound and 100% true. The process of selecting among alternatives.
Exactly. Choice makes sense, and it is right choice.
The social position that a person holds.
You chose status, and it is correct.
Who invented mental accounting?
You're right.
Thaler is the correct answer. The M in SMART goals stands for excellent choice. Measurable is the right answer. Things you want to accomplish.
Great thinking. Goals is the right choice.
Who created prospect theory? Nice work. You chose Kahneman and Tversky, and it is correct. The way a person acts. You got it. Your choice behavior is right. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? Excellent. Contact Narayan Chengder is a brilliant choice.